Hey, Arkey here again. Welcome to this new PvP tips and tricks video. Today I'm going to talk about everything there is to know about spell penetration and spell resistance. First of all, let me answer the question you're probably asking yourself right now. As of Cataclysm, if you use offensive magic abilities, excluding holy damage spells, you need 195 spell penetration for PvP content. Just because I know you're going to ask, you need exactly 4% hit rating. Alright, let's take a look at spell pen in details. I'm going to start with the very basics of it, but stay tuned for some more advanced stuff. First of all, what is spell pen? Well, one spell penetration point is equal to -1 spell resistance for your opponent. For instance, if your opponent has 50 magic resistance, then you need 50 spell penetration to fully go through that resistance. Now, why would you want to ignore some of that resistance? Well, spell resistance has two effects. First, high spell resistance can fully resist your offensive utility spells. And second, spell resistance will significantly reduce your magic damage output. Here's a short list of the most common spell resistance sources in PvP, each one granting 195 spell resistance to different schools, depending on the buff. But these effects don't stack together, which is why you need 195 spell penetration to negate these effects. Some rare spells or talents will grant additional spell resistance, but they aren't very common, so you don't really have to worry about them. For instance, Mage Armor only grants an extra 45 spell resistance. Seasoned Winds is an enhancement shaman talent. No one really specs into that. Or Mastery only lasts 6 seconds, and no one really uses it for spell resistance. One question you're probably asking yourself is, if I run with no spell penetration, what chunk of my damage will be resisted by 195 spell resistance? Well, the answer to that question is not a simple percentage number. Since Cataclysm spell resistance no longer works the same way, a big part of it is actually random. You'll find a lot of people claiming they know exactly how it works, but no one really knows. Here's a sample of the resisted portion of my damage on Lightning Bolt while hitting 195 spell resistance with no spell penetration. As you can see, the resisted portion is pretty random and ranges from 0 to 30%. In fact, your damage will not always be resisted, meaning 0% is a possible case. Check out this combat log sample. You're probably asking yourself, what's the best way to hit that 195 soft cap for spell penetration? Well, there are 4 different spell pen sources. There's the 70 spell pen enchant to cloak, there are the spell penetration gems, there's the spell pen cloak and spell pen neck. I strongly advise you not to use the cloak enchant because there's a 50 int enchant that is far superior to that 70 spell pen enchant. Gems haven't really been popular until now. I'll come back to this in a second. The cloak and neck is usually the way to go. People usually recommend going for the spell pen neck if you're a mastery caster, or the spell pen cloak if you're a haste caster. But this is where it gets interesting. At first, when Kata started, well, the neck or the cloak would provide nearly enough spell pen and you didn't really have to worry about it. But with the inflation on gear over time, the current cloak gives 289 spell penetration, which is way over the cap. So I've been trying to find a different way to reach that 195 cap without wasting too many stats. Well, the new epic gems turn out to be a very useful solution in this specific case. Considering one socket is equal to 50 DPS stats or 63 spell penetration, we can say that 3 epic spell pen gems will take you close enough to that cap and allow you to pick a cloak with a more valuable and reforgeable stat. For instance, with 3 of those gems and a mastery cloak, you'll be at 189 spell pen, which is basically like trading 100 overkill spell pen for 41 DPS stats. If you use those hybrid gems, you'll be able to hit 192 spell pen, which is even closer to the cap. Considering most people are going to be running around with 289 spell penetration, I honestly doubt resistance will be a very popular concern this season, meaning 3 spell penetration under the soft cap is a fair trade-off for the little bit extra damage. Well, this is it for now, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any questions about spell penetration or hit rating or anything like that, feel free to post a comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more.